Okay, a lot of cards right here for another Stampscapes idea card unboxing video. I have a lot of different cards, including the ones I was most excited about getting. It's the Castaway series right here. Two of the three. The other one was, I didn't know if I wanted to order so many of that kind of spookier image of a kid kind of, almost drowning out there. So, anyways, rat cards. Double-sized postcards and your standard-sized postcards right here. So, anyways, fun stuff opening these up and seeing how they came out. Okay, Christmas Day has arrived for me in May. If you've watched any of these other unboxing videos, you know I love getting my printing order back, because it really reminds me of the times when I used to take a lot of photos, and that feeling of getting your prints back, was always fun. I'm sure everyone can relate to that. I don't know, digital printing wasn't always around. I have the largest box of idea cards that I'm not sure if they were all idea cards. I think some of them are inserts for our sets, but I have such a gigantic box here. I've raised my camera up all the way. I think I'm just going to have to take these out and place them on my table, because this box is huge. Looks like I got some rat cards as well. Rat cards are kind of a longer formatted card, and I know what pieces those are. Those are my Castaway pieces that I just recently did videos for. Okay. These all come from Vista print. You've probably seen the ads or commercials on that company. They're pretty good. I haven't tried the other ones, but just kind of got to using Vistaprint. I don't know. I don't even remember what it was for. Oh, I remember what it was. A friend of mine got some business cards made by them, and I thought, oh, those look pretty good. And used just the templates that they had. All right, you can see I have a ton of cards here. Boy. Nothing like a table full of cards, and it's, like I said, it gives me the feeling of opening photographs back when you used to submit your rolls of film, which wasn't too long ago, of course, but I don't know, such a distant memory, relatively speaking, in terms of how many digital prints we've gotten since then, right? That we take with our phones and whatnot. All right, this is one of the Pigment Ink Tests using the kind of this idea of this flare. This one came out pretty dark now. Yeah, the color scheme's okay, but a little bit dark for me in the printing. But anyways, I have this down, and I have this little notation on the back as far as what stamps were used and what these videos were all about. It mentions the video links for those. All right. Back in the days of photography, it was always kind of a big question as far as if you got the exposure right. And I usually took slides, so what you saw is what you got. Unlike prints, they could kind of compensate, whoever the tech was that was doing the printing, they always kind of adjust things, so I don't know, you always got something a little bit different. Oh, this is the same one here. Looks like I ordered a ton of these ones. I really like this scene, though. I did one with just the aspens, with the light coming through. Then I did another one with these tree trunks with the light coming through, and on this one I combined them into one. So, anyways, with digital printing, just like anything, if you order more, you pay more, but the price per print, per card is less, and that's one that I wanted to have as a kind of a format for those to reference, okay, for a long time. So I got a lot of them. All right, this one was from, a composition was from the Sky, what am I trying to think of? The Sky Stamp Sketches. And this is one of those that I finished off to its completion. And I don't know, I thought that this one had a nice kind of feel to it. And I have a lot of different colored gel pen dots up there, if you can see that. It's green, pink, and whatever. So an otherwise monochromatic scene, you can kind of give it a little excitement, I guess, or a little variation, I guess. It's not really exciting, but these different color stars up there can give you some variation. And since there's so many different gel pen colors, you can use metallics too. You know, the metallics aren't going to read as far as a printing, you know, professional printing, or even when you scan it, it's really hard to read, but scan. But the originals really look fantastic with that extra little glitter or whatnot that's in those gel pens. I'm really excited about the gel pen offerings that we have as stampers these days with the popularity of adult coloring books. This one's interesting. This one's a larger scene, but I thought, okay, they got something weird with that little crease down here, because this is a folded card. So we have that crease down the middle, but I just kind of unfolded it. But I really like doing these ones on the dark blue matte cardstock, and just basically using black ink and white pigment ink to create all these different types of looks within here. So there's not a huge range, you know, in terms of the different values on here, but just the amount of black that you use in a given area can give you some grays, and the amount of white that you use, pigment ink white kind of sponged on there in various areas, masked off, can give you a range of grayscale within those spaces. So, and I really like the look of that. And again, this is in my kind of I don't know, several week period or couple week period where I was kind of playing around with the white pigment ink on darker areas to kind of give this idea of light rays. And I think that adds a really dramatic and dynamic visual to your different scenes that would require it. It kind of makes me want to do various scenes just for the sake of being able to add that in there. I just think they look so dramatic. I'm always looking for the creation of depth within a scene, and I like how we can create depth by having something that's seemingly coming right towards you in the form of a light beam like that. So it's kind of playing around with depth, but you don't have to use stamps for that. You can use whatever compositional foundation you have and create the depth just with medium that we probably all have in our collections as rubber stampers. Okay, this is the one that I used a lot of alcohol inks. I'm trying to think of the word. And then I came back into it with a lot of colored pencil. This one's on matte paper right here. And then I used a lot of gel pen dots at the base of this, but we can get a lot of variation within those tree trunks right there. Different greens, browns, etc. Oh, and you can see my little peekaboo animals in the back. That should be the name of the piece, peekaboo. Okay, moving on. These ones, I think these postcards look okay. They're a little bit dark, though. than I thought they would be. It depends on where you have these getting printed. I could reorder these from Vista Print, and that they have them printed in a different house. Oh my gosh, here's the third one of these stacks right here. I don't remember ordering that many. Unless I ordered it. I don't know. I don't think I inputted it twice. I'll have to take a look. Alright, this one better not be another one. It is. Huh. I don't know if they sent me the right configuration of this scene. Let me see. Yeah, that is another one. I'm not quite sure how many if this one has the number of in there. Huh. Maybe that's why this box got so big. Maybe they sent me too many. Anyway, as long as I didn't pay for it, I'm fine with that. Okay, let's see what we have here. This is probably a reorder because I ordered less. This one. I do reorders all the time. We've been ordering postcards off the site for I forgot how many years, but this one's kind of a newer one. Kind of open space, tailor-made for this quote stamp up here. A good traveler has no plans and is not intent on arriving. I thought that went really well with this visual here. These people taking some time out to get out there in that inviting water like that. I have the birds up here. Without the birds, I guess it would still look inviting. You can certainly change this around if you put like a shark fin out there. It would change the entire spirit of the scene, but that's what's good about scenic stamping. You can really kind of play around with your themes just based on, you know, really simple little elements. Okay. Let's see, this is the one that I really was kind of curious about. Well, this one and the other one, but these are rack cards here, you know. Okay. And this is 100 proof press, and that is a fistful of stamps, but there is my Castaway piece, the first in a series of 3. As far as the story went, I actually stamped a different one first. A different piece first, okay. Wanted to see how that fog would look. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Again, all the printing here is a little bit darker than my preference. Not too bad, though. Yeah, I don't know. That looks pretty good. The contrast is a little bit, this one is a little bit frostier in my original. Okay. Yeah, they jacked up the saturation a little bit in terms of the printing on these ones. This one's not quite so reddish, but it looks close enough, I guess, to the originals. Where are the originals? Let's see. Oh, here we go, right here. There's the original right here. See how less red it is? Okay. Let's see how... No, we're working with CMYK colors, so the colors sometimes like blues come out a little bit different, but look how much darker that is than that. So anyways, there's the reds right there. A little bit more kind of sandy than that one, but oh, I don't know. I don't really have any complaints about that. Let's see, this one, I'm not sure if this one, no, this one is, okay. This one's a reorder. I thought this one might just be a set insert. Okay, this is one of my most involved scenes of all time. I gave this to someone for all of their help with putting together a grouping of images, customer submitted images, but she organized it all. And this is a full page scene, and I have this big, this slope here looking down into the valley with all the autumn types of imagery and whatnot. Maybe this is after I went to Maine too, and I hiked around on various trails in Acadia National Park. But this one is called Autumn Vista, and it's a full-page scene, so I did it on a half-page formatted postcard. I thought if I do that one in a small postcard, it would look okay, but, oh. Here's another one of those. I don't know, they must do these. The way they gang print these things is, I don't know what kind of formula they use to do that. They just take orders from all over the, whatever, the world or country. This is probably North America. But, this is a reorder right here. I guess it's never too early to start thinking about Christmas, but this is a scene by Pat Smothers, and really a fantastic take on that country chapel right there. And on her original, you can see it's dimensional and it's sticking out, and in that, it becomes dimensional on that. So this multi-dimensional card format, and then she formatted it beautifully, you know, in this setting that they did, lighting and everything like that. I don't know. I don't know where I saw that. I think someone told me about it, maybe. You know, I think she posted it on one of those kind of this, you know, those online forums, and I saw that, and I said, hey, I kind of tracked her down. I said, hey, can I, you know, think about letting me put that into a, formatted it into an idea card. Okay, I think. Okay, here's more Autumn Vistas. Huh. I need to see how many I ordered of all of these things. That, I don't know. Seems like I have more of the autumn stuff than usual. This one's again Autumn Vista. I bet you this one's Autumn Vista again too. So anyways, by the way, these are idea cards. They get sent out with the different orders, both retail and wholesale, so people can have a hard copy of various scenes. Okay, these ones are the ones where I didn't order very many. I just wanted to get a few little spattering of filler scenes to include with orders. But here's another autumn scene. This one's scene from, I don't know how long ago it was, maybe a year. I probably ordered it once or twice in postcard forms. This is a scene done quite a few years ago, but I like the dual waterfalls, and I used the Dr. Martin's bleed-proof white at the base of it to kind of create that misty, splashy look, which you can do with gel pens too, but this is kind of the splatter painting style done with a kind of a stiff toothbrush and that splatter painting technique. That's really fun to utilize in scenes to give you kind of an element of spontaneity, I guess. It's kind of hard to control that splatter painting, you know. Exactly. Here's another one. I splatter painted all over. The scene wasn't really looking very good. It was just too murky with all the different colors around. And it had, you know, an ominous look, which it still kind of has. But my solution was I splatter painted it. So I just kind of, if the scene, it wasn't looking great to me, so I just took it and I splatter painted the whole thing from distance. So it's like this thin spray of it over it all. So if I put this whole kind of spray over the whole thing, it kind of pushes everything that you see, all of the visuals, back a layer, right? Because you have an entire layer of something else in front of you. It's like looking through like a, you know, not quite, but it's, you know, if you had a frosted glass or something like that, and you just put it over everything. So anything that you don't really like, it gets pushed back underneath something else. So for me, it kind of hides its weaknesses. And one of the weaknesses was, you know, just things that are going on out here. They were kind of boring, so I just put a layer of that texture down, and it's light on something dark, And it gives a little bit of visual interest to all these areas. Then what I did after that is I just kind of came in here and I added a little bit of tone over some of those little splashed little white dots, paint dots, okay? And then it turned some of those dots a color, so it became a little bit more dimensional, and I think a little bit more rich, and then I just placed some, either painted on or did it with gel pens, some snow on these branches, so I don't know, it became a little more interesting. And yes, there are a lot of weak areas that happen on my scenes. I've been stamping for a long time, but I'm no master at it. I just kind of know how to, I don't know, hide certain things and to emphasize certain things within a scene, you know, and how to bring things out. And you know, that's one of the fun things about scenic stamping. You can emphasize, you know, the strengths and de-emphasize your weaknesses, just depending on what kind of finishing touches you put on it. All right, this is by Susan Chen, fantastic stamper in Taiwan and teacher, but look at that splatter painting up here. I like hers better than mine in terms of her technique here, but she put it across up there and put it across down there. I'm not even sure if this is brayered or what, you know, but look at how effective that splatter painting is up there. I do like gel pen dots, you know, but I also like this splatter painting technique, you know, for the variation and texturing that it can provide. Okay, so let's see here. Let's see. I have a really bad memory, so when I see the names, oh, that's by Susan again. Well, okay. Look at that lighting off of the Seaside Cove. Now she has multi-layered the Seaside Cove, I think. I think she did 2 layers of it. I'm not sure though. She might have stamped it up there and stamped it down below again, but look at that lighting created by the full moon on the scene. And it's a little bit lighter in here, so it's a little bit darker here. But look at this right here. This is what I'm always talking about with oscillating your light, okay? It's not just light all throughout here. It's dark, light, and then she says this dark and light here. And it's a little darker here, but look at this little illuminated area. So it goes light, see that's light, dark, dark. All right? Now, it doesn't have to be so complicated because there isn't like this specific area where it has to be, you know, dark and light. I mean, if this was light down here and this part was dark, it would look fine. Just kind of play around with it a little bit. They call it kind of checkerboarding across your scene. And again, it, you know, I mean, yeah, you want that moon to be light. You don't want that one to be dark. And you want some area on your water to be a little bit light, but it doesn't have to be a set kind of formula or anything like that. Just as long as you kind of vary it, it all looks good. Okay, here it is again. Here it's light, dark, light, you know, dark, and see that, you know, I'm gonna just, this is light down here, but I just put a few little streaks across there to break up the lightness right here. So instead of just being dark, light, I just make it a little bit more complex, and I just put a streak across here and streak across here, so it goes light, dark, light, right? And that's my, you know, that's my little trick there, doing that. Little illumination right here, illuminated down here, you know, and that's not, you know, too different, but, you know, Susan's just made hers all dark down here. It really frames things off, but look at mine is lighter up here and darker right here, so it goes kind of light, dark, light. Hers goes light, dark, all right? I mean, it's a different thing. Hers is a nighttime scene, so she wanted it to be, you know, overall darker on her scene. So play around with lighting, it just simply means that you darken some areas and just leave other areas as is. It's not like a kind of a complex process, you know. The things that you want to remain light in a scene, you just don't color, you know. So it's not like doing something additional, like adding light back into it with a certain media. You just don't tone it out. Okay, in one of my Aurora Borealis, I like this color combination right here. It's just kind of this softer look. I don't know if it's an Aurora Borealis, but it's just kind of these, I don't know, pillars of kind of soft pastel light kind of rising up. And, I don't know, my oak branch up here kind of breaks up the monotony of it a little bit. Or, I don't know, I mean, by having this branch here, it does cover up some of these little pillars of light, but I think it kind of emphasizes and it makes them look, you know, more illuminated sometimes by putting something dark next to it. Dark and hard against something soft and light provides a nice textural change within a scene. Doesn't mean you have to do it though, but that's just one option. Sometimes I don't do it. You know, I fall in love with those little streaks too much, and I just don't want to cover them up at all, and that's fine. Okay, final one here. Oh, Walk in the Grove. Just a little pathway stamp. You might have seen this one, but I hadn't ordered it in a few months. And I just did a Paths and Roads video, so I thought I would order this one again. Alright, so we have a lot of idea cards again here. I certainly have a lot of that light ray in the Maple Grove one, more so than others, but I don't know, we have a pretty good selection here. So anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you like the scenes, and these will be getting sent out to individuals or stores near you. And this big one right here. This one, the colors, I really like the color scheme right here. I thought it was really true to the thing. I don't know. Could have been how I formatted these ones before I sent them out, that they're all a little bit darker, but I'm not sure about that. Yeah, maybe. All right, thanks.